What is up, everyone? Harry the Big Dog here, and this is the DJ interview. You notice no intro today, no music intro. We're gonna do a little something different today. We are going back in time. I'm gonna play the very first episode of DJ interview. This is episode 1. The DJ is DJ Mr. Anderson, one of my good friends, Gary from Edenwall. Shout out to Edenwall. Yo, I want y'all to look at this. Just look at the quality, the hair, the background, everything. It was just so new at the time for me. The very first episode, I don't know if you guys can see how nervous we were. But let me get that going and we'll play this interview. It's about 50 minutes, so sit back and enjoy, and we'll be back at the end to close this thing out, and I'd love to hear what you thought of it. The very first episode of DJ Interview. Let's go. All right, hey, how you guys doing? My name is Harry the Big Dog. This is the DJ interview, and welcome to the very, very first episode of it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because June is National DJ and Music Month. So we have a lot going on in the world right now. And I just wanted to take you on this journey and experience another DJ from their point of view and their views, and just take you on a journey and get you off of this planet for 30 minutes to an hour. So let me bring in my first guest. My first guest, his name is Gary Anderson, aka DJ Mr. Anderson. And he is representing New Rochelle. What's up, DJ Mr. Anderson?
What's up, Harry?
I'm good. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. All things considered.
I see you got your DJ stuff in the background.
Yep. Yeah, it's all equipment and speaker.
I got my DJ set up too. I got my DJ shirt on, and I got the hair to match my shirt.
A nice DJ sweatshirt. I ordered a nice DJ sweatshirt from Wish. It was supposed to have been here already, but it's Wish. So you never know when it's going to show up.
You never know. So, Gary, DJ Mr. Anderson, when did you get this bug to DJ? This urge to pick up 2 turntables and do your thing?
Actually, it was like in second stages, really. As a kid, growing up, we grew up in Edenwall Projects, we were 1159 together.
Yes, we did.
And you know how it was back. There was always DJs out in the park, and so that piqued my interest.
Right.
When I moved to New Rochelle, there were as I was a teenager, kids on my block started getting DJ equipment. Besides going to parties and things like that, seeing the DJs, and so I ended up getting some equipment. And it was just for home and kids in the neighborhood. I had no desire to do parties or anything.
What was your first setup? Your DJ setup?
Oh man, it was some no-name mixer and some no-name turntables, but it worked.
I think that's how everybody started off.
So, but they worked. I had to put coins on the needles and stuff. So it wouldn't skip.
What type of amp, speakers?
Yeah, house amp, some of my old dad stuff.
Okay.
Nothing spectacular, It was something just for me to play around at home.
So at what point did you go semi-professional? Meaning you got some real DJ equipment, maybe 1200s, maybe Geminis, maybe, a Gemini mixer or better.
No, I've never had any of that.
Really?
I didn't I was playing around years like 2003. I'm actually looking for a beat making program, and I came across a DJ program.
What was it?
Virtual DJ.
Virtual DJ.
And it was free, so I started playing around with that, and then I came across the controllers. I'm like, wow, okay, well, this is, a lot easier than working with turntables and things like that. I could afford a controller. At the time I was a single father, and
so you started off with a controller. Even though we grew up way back when, you never had the real record experience.
Back in the 80s, yes.
Okay.
I remember going to Paul's record. I remember going down to J&R Music World, your stuff, and Paul's Record Hut here in New Rochelle, and so I had the record experience, but not professional.
I'm having one while we're talking.
Hey, it's that time of day. Enjoy yourself.
So, more about the virtual DJ and the people that do Serato. They'll hate on you.
I know.
They drop dead Serato users. So why virtual DJ?
Like I said, that was the first one I came across. And then when I bought a controller, it came with Serato, the LE version. And I just thought that the virtual DJ was just so much easier to use. I could read the music better, on the little graphs.
Right.
I could read the music better, so I knew I didn't have to look down or even use my headphones. I can look at it, see when to stop, play with the record, pull it back. It was just easier for me. And I could also find my music better. I just type it right in, and boom, the song pops up. And then, so my friends now, they go to use the Serato. They type, I type in the song and nothing comes up.
Right.
But everything in my catalog comes up in the virtual DJ.
Nice.
It'll pop up.
So this was back in 2003. And
a couple years later, like I said, I just had the controller, and just using the laptop speaker.
Okay.
Speakers. And a friend of mine out of the blue just hit me up on Facebook. And he was also using virtual DJ. And he was known DJ. He was a DJ for years since high school.
Right.
So he said we should hook up. And he came over, started sharing music and things like that. And he said, I got a party this weekend at a barbecue. That was the first time I ever DJ'd for money. And,
so that was the first time you were a professional. After that, when you get paid, you're a professional now.
Right. So we did that party, and I said, well, I have friends that run an Elks Lodge. From the Elks Lodge, we went to the Elks Lodge in one city, and then that spread to other cities and other cities. And, from Elks Lodges to Masons parties, and, from there to private parties, and then the clubs and, local clubs, things like that. Like I'm very local. That's international. I'm just local.
That was one of the things that was interest to me, that you just stayed local. A lot of the DJs I talked to, they, I was just talking to one about a half an hour ago, and he's been to Dubai and Hawaii and all these places. You're talking about two different ends of the earth. And you were telling me that you mainly just stayed local.
Well, the thing is, like I said, I was a single father. My son went in the Marines about 4.5 years ago. So as a single dad, being protective, didn't want to, I couldn't go too far. So I had to be home. So after he left 4.5 years ago, I started, venturing out a little more. I've been out to the tip of Long Island and, out to Jersey and, spending the night out. I wasn't worried about my son. My daughter's a little older. So I just started really, the last 4.5 years, really expanding a little bit,
Expanding out your local area? Or?
Yeah, right. I say I've been out to Montauk and the Hamptons and Jersey and.
Okay, so surrounding areas. You're not just staying.
Yeah, I'm not just in your show, no.
Local now. So let me ask you this: how did you get your DJ name?
The Matrix. Mr. Anderson.
I kind of knew that, but
And there was a sample on YouTube, and he had saying Mr. Anderson. I said that'd be kind of cool. So I started going by Mr. Anderson.
did anybody give you any slack for it?
No, actually, when they see me, they go Mr. Anderson now.
So let me ask you this: what type of music do you play? First of all, this is like a 3-part question. What type of music do you play when you're at your parties? Are you one of them DJs that go with the flow, or are you a specialty? You only play one type of music?
I read the crowd. I've done bars that that weren't urban bars. So I've played rock music. Freestyle. But for the most part, it's hip hop and R&B. And I love when I get an older crowd, I get a little old school house.
Right.
I read the crowd. I'll play whatever the crowd wants to hear to enjoy themselves. And that's also why I think I've been successful in the area, because not only do I play music from our era,
right,
our parents' era, and our kids' era.
70s, 80s, 90s.
Actually, I played from the 50s on up.
Okay.
So all the way to today. And that's one of the reasons why I've been successful in the area, because a lot of DJs around only play to one age group.
Right.
And I'm able to hit all the age groups, because coming up in Edenwall, my parents played so much. I didn't realize I retained so much of that music.
Right.
And remember they playing the little radios out on the benches and stuff.
Yep. We were
the stereos blasting from I retained so much of that old music. I couldn't believe how much I remembered.
Right after basketball court.
Yes. So from that era, I'm from the 70s is probably my favorite era to play.
Disco.
70s, disco to R&B, Earth, Wind and Fire. So many artists. Earth, Wind and Fire is my favorite band of all time.
Roger that. Did you ever go see them live?
And then as it went into hip hop, that early stuff, I have so much of that. And then when I get a chance to play it for an old school crew, they really enjoy it. I go back to the Cold Crush and all them guys.
Oh, let me show you something. Let me go in my goodie bag. Memories.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people only seen these things on an MP3 or
little picture of yourself.
They haven't seen it in like a real record 12-inch form.
Mm-hmm.
So, what type of music do you listen to when nobody's around?
Break beats. I'll sit there and just playing around myself for hours. Just cutting and scratching and playing with them. I listen a little bit of everything. I'm not too much into the new music.
Right.
I play it. I've developed an ear for it. I like some of the newer songs. They got that bass in it. I like the bass. But anything from the early 2000s back to the 70s, I'll sit there and just relax. I have it in my car. That's my whole era, from the 70s, late 60s up to the early 2000s.
Hey, everybody that's watching, if you old school, type old school in the chat. If you new school, type new school. So, and this is the third part of that 3-part question. What type of music do you listen to that people would be surprised you listen to?
Probably freestyle.
Freestyle.
Yeah, I'm from the Bronx.
TKA.
I have some half Puerto Rican cousins. My kids are half Puerto Rican, so I've been exposed to the culture.
What artists?
One of my favorite songs is "Summertime." Take me to the water. Who else? There's a few songs. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say I'm a big freestyle fan. Just a couple songs. I try to listen to some EDM. I like some of the beats, so they get to that crazy break with it. You know what I mean? They do like EDM remixes. R&B songs or hip hop songs, it'll sound pretty good. So it gets to that crazy R&B, the EDM part. That's where I can't play that.
that's out of your range, right?
Yeah, just it just takes it too far out of what R&B or hip hop is. It's too EDM-ish.
So, what year did you say your first paying gig was?
Probably about 2007.
And how long after that, before that, you was playing free? From start, you said you got into it about 2003.
Right. No, just playing around for myself.
Okay.
So
your actual first paying gig was the first thing you've done?
Yeah.
Wow.
No. I did my dad's party.
Okay.
Dad's party. I played there. No. Actually, that came afterwards. Yeah, that was the first thing I did. Yeah.
Man.
That was the first thing I did.
Most of us, we was out there for about 2, 3, 4 years of playing for people for free, playing in a building, playing in somebody's house. If we ever got to a house, we go in the backyard. Yeah, somebody said North Bronx. Wow, so you did a quick turnaround. I know.
It was 2 of us. We got $50 a piece.
That's still you professional level.
Yeah.
$50. You just tell people you got paid. Oh man, if you're a DJ in the chat, put down your how long it took you to get paid to become professional.
Well,
So
my friend was DJing for a while. He was kind of known in the area. He wasn't the most popular DJ, but people knew him. And so, we were partners, and he used my speakers, his equipment. And so that's how we did it. And then after that, we went right to I said, my friends run the Elks in another city.
right.
We started playing over there. Then the Elks from New Rochelle came over there. Okay, you guys play over here. And it just started spreading from there. Just building up a name,
You kind of just rode the wave.
Yeah.
Nice. So you said you played earlier in your early days
Back in the 80s, yeah.
from the records.
Mm-hmm.
Then you came to a controller program type, your Serato virtual DJ record box type thing. Was it difficult to make the switch? Did it feel funny?
No, I embraced it immediately.
Okay.
I said it was cheaper. It was easier. I had all the music downloaded. Didn't have to worry about buying a record. I just embraced it immediately. I had to get used to the size of the jog wheels, and that was about it. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. And it was, it was so much easy to carry one controller. And I had such little controllers. This is one of the little ones I got right here.
That was one of your first?
This is actually my fourth. I worked up for the other ones they're right here somewhere. I still have them. And
all of them?
Oh, every single one.
Nice.
Worked up, the controls got better. A little more, gadgets and things on it. They have the cue buttons right on the front and things like that. So, and I worked up from there. So I can show you guys this one. I'm up to this big old one now.
Oh, nice. What is that? A Pioneer what?
JSX.
Oh.
And that's what I'm working with now. This is the first Pioneer I had. The rest were all Newmark. And I had no problem with Newmark, but this one came available, so I got it.
Right. We got some comments in the Facebook chat. Somebody did a wedding, they don't know what year. One person was doing bars and then clubs.
Mm-hmm.
This is like
I did a few bars too, bars that they weren't really in my demographic.
Right.
So I said I played different types of music, and people requested it. That's the thing about the new style of DJing. I could download a song and play it immediately.
Right.
You know, so I requested it. So I was always making the people happy. You know.
You started off bootlegging like a lot of people.
Oh yeah, right from YouTube.
Straight from YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Are you with a record pool now?
Yes.
Which
I'm with I DJ. It's built right into the virtual DJ software.
Okay.
So when I download a song, I can just like I type in a song into the record pool. It comes up with all the different remixes and things like that, and I can play it immediately. I don't have to worry about transferring it over to pick it out. I can play it immediately. So that's definitely an advantage.
So you have smaller controllers and bigger controllers. I'm not a controller person. You see my stuff in the background. I haven't adapted it yet, but I think I am. I'm looking more at the 12s. So what's the difference that you see in the controllers?
Well, with the turntables, you gotta worry about your needles, cartridges, you know, things like that. You don't have to worry about that with a controller. And exactly. And so like I said, you know, with this little thing right here, this is everything. This is both turntables and your mixer. So, you know, a lot of gigs I'm setting up by myself. You know, I'm on CP time, so I get there, you know, 15 minutes before it's supposed to start. It's a lot easier to set up. And with the you know, with the virtual DJ program, you could actually play your music, set your music to play, and it'll mix by itself for a while. You know, so you know, before the party really gets going, you can just put some songs on and relax. You know, you take a bathroom break right in the middle of the party, and I enjoy that. It's just a lot easier with the controller. Less work, less things to carry, less things to worry about breaking.
Oh, man, I know back in the day when you got, you know, I put a post on here, and I asked how many crates of records that people had. Somebody had like 27 crates. And I'm like, whoa, you partying for a weekend, a week?
Yeah, really.
My 5 and 6 crates.
I remember parties with my friends, and we tried to bring every record we could because we didn't know what we were going to need.
And you bring your different genres because, like you were saying earlier, you get a crowd, and it may not be a hip hop or house crowd. It may be an R&B heavy crowd.
Yeah,
you know, you have to play, but you have to have the music. You can.
In those days, you kind of knew, you know, if we did like a party at the high school, you knew what you were going to need. But that's the advantage of today. Everything's in your laptop. You know, so you know all thousands of songs are in your laptop, so you don't have to worry about not having something. It's all there.
Any horror stories?
I remember I did a party once, and they kept stopping it, and it wasn't totally their fault because it was their first time using this place, and it was supposed to be from 8 to 12, but they found out right before it started that they had to be out by 12.
Oh.
So, you know, we thought it would end at 12, then you clean up. No, they had to be out.
And then at 11, and then getting out of there by 12.
Right. And it was like a family type party. So people wanted to talk, and then people wanted to sing, and I could never really get started. I couldn't get into a groove or to a flow. You know, and it was, I felt bad. I could see look on their faces. I'm like, man, look, y'all keep, every time I get ready to get started, y'all keep stopping me to talk or to sing. That was one. And then another one, I was doing a Mason party, and everything went wrong. They wouldn't turn the lights off, so people wouldn't get up and dance, because they wanted to see what was going on at the front door.
Wow.
So they would turn the lights off, and then a lot of people came early, and there weren't too many men. A lot of women came early. There weren't too many men there, so they left. So by the time the men, there was a visiting lodge from Virginia, from Petersburg. By the time they got there, a lot of women had left. So the party was dead. And then they left, and then the younger crowd from New Rochelle came. They were at another function. There was a guy named Guy Coleman who was having his comedic debut that night somewhere. Very popular guy here in New Rochelle. He had a comedy thing, and they all came over there afterwards. Then the party started rocking after the paying people left. So the party was horrible for the last hour and a half. It was off the hook.
So that was a horror turn beautiful.
Oh, but you know what's funny? Chuck Chill Out came to that party, and he couldn't even get the party jumping. So I don't feel bad behind that.
Wow.
He got on there, and it was how the difference between controllers and turntables. He had no idea how to operate the controller. He had that. I mean, I'm telling you,
old school.
Yeah, he was so old school. I'm like, you use turntables and that shit makes sense. It's no different. He just couldn't do it, you know.
I got a controller somewhere around here. It's a M Audio something.
Mm-hmm.
And I played with it a couple of times. I couldn't even get it to hear the different side for about an hour and a half. Finally figured that out because I read the instructions.
Yeah, I play with those settings sometimes.
Yeah. But it's not like clear cut and dry like, stuff like behind me.
Right.
Where either you turn a knob or hit a button.
Yeah, the settings can be tricky. And if you go into your settings and mess around with something and mess something up, you guys find out exactly what you messed up, and but I think I think like I said, I like the controller because like I said, they have the cue points. I can go right to the part of the record I want to. Back in the days we had to kind of try to find that one spot with the needle. Now I can.
You can set up all your cue points. And...
Yes. I break beats. I cut right to the parts I want. It's just there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages. I think there's more advantages than disadvantages with the newer stuff.
So, what would you tell a DJ that's up and coming now, who's getting into the DJing thing right now?
Learn the history of the music that you're playing. Listen to other DJs, experienced DJs, but don't bite their style. You can take a little piece from them, learn something from them, but develop your own style and don't try to be anybody else.
Now, how did you, speaking of styles, how did you develop your style? Are you a straight up mixer blending records together, or are you one of them that just bang on another record?
I try to mix it in, blend it in. I definitely, depending on the record, sometimes records don't mix that easy, Mm-hmm. So I'll echo something out sometimes, but for the most part, I mix it in. I try to blend it. Like I said, I was DJing at home for so long by myself, playing for myself. So I learned how to mix.
You played what you wanted to hear.
The new DJs learn how to mix, learn the craft. Don't just throw records on. There's an art to this.
Yeah. There's
a lot of skill and listen to other DJs and see. Don't say you might take a little piece, but don't bite their whole style. Learn stuff from other DJs.
Yeah, I make it a point to still listen to other DJs because, some, like you said, some people have a style or a mix and like, ooh, I'm gonna use that, or I'm gonna put that record into my rotation.
Right. Yeah.
Let's check this Facebook. All right. So I am really impressed. Like you said, it was a real local thing first before, and it was for a while before you stepped out, and there was a reason behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gary, I appreciate you, bro, for being the first, being the guinea pig.
All uphill from here. All
uphill. So, few more questions. I know you were military.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play while you were in the military?
No, I had friends that did, and I was more into rapping back then.
Okay.
I was pretty good at freestyling and writing. I started freestyling and went into writing. I played around a little bit on their turntables. Like I said, I didn't develop an interest into, another interest to it until about 2000. I guess I'm home by myself a lot. I was a single father, so during the week I'm home, kids are asleep, and I started just something to do, without going out. So that's why I developed, the love for it again.
Yeah. And I know that controller, you don't need a van or a trailer to carry all your stuff, because we talk about speakers, because nowadays, back in the day,
We had never had a new home or
wash
something.
machines.
Yeah.
The size of dryers, you know, the one downstairs
The
from
other
us.
day, he had these 2 cabinet speakers on the curb.
Right.
I had to stop. Yeah, I used to, someone's coming to pick them up now. Oh, man. I was like, how much?
Everybody helps you in, but come 5 o'clock in the morning, you by yourself and you stare at your equipment like it's going to jump in your vehicle.
Yes. When I first started DJing, I had a Saturn. That's all I got. The biggest car I had was a Saturn. I could put both speakers in the back, let's speakers in the trunk, let's put them in the trunk. I was good.
So you use powered speakers?
Yeah, power speakers, definitely.
Ones.
I got Mackie thumbs. And I have, what do these? Altos, Alto 12s. So I've got 3 different sets of speakers, 6 speakers altogether.
You have bottoms too? Bass ones? Or
Yeah,
just
that's an American Audio. Yeah, so I bought it from someone. It's all right. It's not a big deal. But when I play something like in a gym, and the acoustics are bad, you need that bass.
Yeah. So the Mackies give off good
The
sound
Mackie, excellent.
until you go somewhere else.
Even there's the local boys club where there's a lot of big parties. The way the building is set up, the sound bounces back, and, you know,
Right.
different beams going across, so the sound is coming off, but that bass kind of drowns that out. You know, so you definitely need the bass in, you know, certain places. But like with most places, I don't need to bring the bass. The Mackies, they're inexpensive speakers. They're not the best, but they're good.
What are the best to you?
There's so many of them out there.
The QSDs?
Those are excellent. I mean, the other thing about, like I said, setting up, you know, and breaking down, those are very heavy speakers. I got the main reason I got the Mackies, not just because of the sound. They're only 30 pounds.
Okay. What size speakers in there?
15s.
Okay. Because some of them QSCs, they I know my boy Tommy, he has the 12s, and I think he has the 10-inch ones too, and they really have good sounds.
Yeah, but they cost a lot more than the 15-inch Mackies. Like I said, they have a nice quality sound. The Mackies, they're not the best, they're not the loudest, but they have good sound and they have a lot of bass.
What DJs did you listen to growing up?
Of course, Red Alert, Chuck Chill Out, Molly Mall. Bunch of local guys. There was a guy named DJ Murdoch around here, a guy I grew up with. You know, Kid Capri, you know, mixtape guys, you know, this is so many names.
Capri, Ron G.
Ron G, youngest in charge. You know, too many to name, you know what I mean? But Red Alert was definitely a big influence. You know, I still try to cut and scratch like Red Alert sometimes, you know, at home. You know, this is back in the 80s.
I heard him playing. I'm in Virginia, and the wife had on her Alexa BLS, and I heard him playing.
Isn't that a shock that Red Alert's on BLS now?
Yes, yeah. I was like, wow, still playing. This is one of these crafts that you can play until you 80.
As long as you have a name, you can play. You know,
as long as you got some rhythm and some good songs, and you know how to.
Red Alert, you can get a gig anywhere. You know, and yeah, he said, as long as you don't even have to be famous. As long as you get a decent DJ, you know how to mix, you know how to reach the crowd. That's the main thing, I think. Is being able to read your crowd and play what they want. You know, I take requests. I don't like them all the time. You know, because sometimes they'll request something that's totally different than what you're playing right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it. I promise. No, I want to hear it now. Well, that's not going to happen. You know, I'm playing, old school R&B, and they want to hear something from today. I'm like, you got to wait for that, I'll get to it. I promise.
Nice.
The young audience wants to hear stuff now. All the time.
Right.
The older crowd, they'll wait. They'll let the young crowd get theirs and wait for the older music to come on. But the new crowd, new kids want to hear it now.
We got a question in Facebook. It says, what's your favorite break beat to cut?
Man, I usually start off with Funky Drummer. But there's Gas. Last Night Changed It All.
Uh-huh.
I like them all, man. I can't think off the top of my head right now. I'm on the spot.
You on the spot. You got millions of people watching you right now live.
Super Sperm, Frisco Disco. All that old, good stuff, man.
And some of these newer DJs, they don't know what those records look like Frisco Disco.
Like
a colorful record. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it one of these interviews, and I'm gonna bring it on. But let me give you a memory.
Wow.
When last time you heard of Pickering's?
When last time you heard of a cassette?
Cassette. I still play my cassettes. I got a Hyundai Genesis, and I still play my cassettes.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had some of those mixtapes from back in the days, man. Remember back in the days?
Red Alert. I heard he has a trunk full.
Yeah, that's what I said. Remember back in the days, you used to pop in your tape and push record and go out and come back and see what you got because it was commercial free.
Yep. Push record and then play that tape the next day.
Yes. Yep. Put it right in the car stereo. I remember I got Roxanne one night, man, when it first came out.
UTFO, yeah.
Yeah, I was playing that and it was the next day I was blasting from my car. I was like, what is this song? This is hot.
Oh, yo.
So you get so many songs, from those old DJs back, Chuck Chill Out, Red Alert.
Yeah. It was a lot of influence back, even in Edenwald. We used to have parties right across the street in the center, and 112 Park.
Mm-hmm.
Some people here don't know what that is, but it's in the Bronx. Right. Edenwald Projects. Look it up.
Yep. Up here, I moved to New Rochelle. A lot of parties were at 95 Lincoln, or the Boys Club, house parties. And I think we came up in the era where it started getting a little rough to go to house parties in other cities. We used to, go to Greenburgh and Mount Vernon and White Plains. And then it started getting a little dangerous to go to other places. They didn't want to fight all the time.
For real. Somebody wrote damn Pickering's. That is true old school right there. Matter of fact, the needle that I have has a Pickering on it.
Mm-mm-mm.
And people remember those things. That is an old school needle right there. And it still plays.
What was that the thing he posted the other day that just sits on top of the record? You only have to put any needles on it.
The phase.
Yeah, that was interesting.
See, this newer technology, it is real amazing. It took them about, a few months to maybe a year to perfect it, but you cannot tell the difference. As fast as you can scratch on a vinyl and a needle, things can catch it too. The Rain 12s.
Those Rain mixes are
phase. And the phase, you can put on those type turntables behind me.
Mm-hmm.
But you need, Serato or one of the other virtual DJ programs.
Right.
One of those type of mixes.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the new technology is just really catering to the DJs. I remember when the CDJs first came out.
Yeah.
People were like, well, how you going to, when CD players first came out.
Right.
The DJs really can't blend the records like that, I'm not worried about cutting and scratching. Just, sometimes you can mix it in properly.
Yeah.
DJs, I was like, how are they going to do that? Then the CDJs came out and things started advancing from there. So I was like, I embrace the new technology.
Did you ever mess with the CD player type ones?
No.
I know Denon had some. I know.
Friends of mine had them. Matter of fact, I know a DJ that still DJs with them.
Really?
Yeah. They call him, I don't know his DJ name, but they call him DJ CD. That's what the crowd calls him. He's the last DJ with CDs.
Oh, there's somebody else out there that do that.
Oh, matter of fact, it wasn't. I went to another spot. The guy did have CDs. You're right.
We got a question here. What was your first record you brought?
Oh, LL Cool J Radio. I remember that.
My radio, believe me, I like it loud.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Was it the album or the 12-inch?
I bought the album and the 12-inch. I bought the album first, and then I bought a radio and what was the other one? Rock the Bells. I bought the 12 inches of those.
Same album, yeah.
Yeah, I bought the 12 inches of those. Because I got the album, then I had to go to another store. But 12 inches, one store was like a mom and pop store.
Right.
You pay the DJs up store across town. They had just 12 inches.
What record stores you remember from going from out there in the Bronx? I know we went to Rock and Soul. We went to Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. And JNR Music World. I
It was way back when Crazy Eddie was open.
There was a guy named Sid on White Plains Road. I forgot what street it was. I used to go down to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And other stuff was up here in New Rochelle. For they had the more commercial stuff, but I had to go to the Bronx to get the real stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have the Crash Crew or Cold Crush Brothers, none of that, you know?
Somebody wrote me too. Oh man. So I haven't embraced it yet, but I'm looking at it. I see a lot of people using the controller. I don't know if I'd go to the controller, but I will test out that phase.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I sell enough T-shirts and mugs, I might buy those Rain 12s. Because that's about $800 a piece.
Yeah, that's Technique 1200 prices.
For real. And I bet they'll last you forever. For one, because
you look sturdy.
I know needles. There's no maintenance on replacing needles. So that's why those people went out of business. I went and bought the Shores.
Mm-hmm.
These were the last pair I bought. These are brand new before they stopped selling them. And this was some years ago. So I was like, let me get me a pair just in case I ever feel like these again. And now you have all this type of equipment that you don't even need needles no more.
Yeah. Well, that's good because they stopped making 1200s.
I heard. Who's there now?
I think I was reading that they still might service them, but
Pioneer or Denon.
Yeah, but I know Pioneer has a set. There's a lot of things they're replacing. They're probably a lot better than well, you can't get much better than Techniques. They're probably just as good, but they said more durable. You know what I'm saying? You ever have like a needle mess up?
Oh yeah. When you don't wipe it off and it gets all the lint and static and everything, it just goes straight through. Like here, it just goes straight through.
Mm-hmm.
And you looking at it, and the crowd looking at you.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing. It's like whenever I'm kidding playing Bilals at a house party, they bump a table with the controller. Do not worry about nothing. I've had someone a fight broke out and hit the whole table. Music kept right on going.
Because you don't have to worry about that.
No, nothing at all.
It's all digital.
Yep.
I'll be embracing it just a little more.
See, the way I look at it, the program is what's really controlling everything, and the controller is like a joystick for the video game. And it just controls what you're seeing on the screen.
Right. Somebody says Stanton might be the next.
On turntables?
I didn't see. It could be turntables.
I know a lot of companies are coming out with quality turntables. Like I said, but being out so many gigs I set up by myself, maybe one other friend, It's so much easier to carry the controller. I mean, I can be set up if I'm motivated in 5 minutes.
So,
interruption. Call me back.
So, since this virus came about, how have you been staying busy and keeping yourself busy? Are you streaming like a lot of other people?
I did it once, and I really didn't enjoy it. It was kind of boring, because I kind of like the feeling the crowd
interaction. Yeah.
Yes, I want to see people. If they're just nodding their head or tapping their feet, I know they're enjoying the music.
Yeah.
So I really, it wasn't. Yeah, it was kind of boring. I said maybe I'll do another one. I record it and put it on there. I wouldn't do it live though. I just wasn't enjoying it.
Because I talked to a few people and a few of the DJs that's coming up in the next couple of days. They do the streaming, but have been noticing that Facebook and Instagram is cutting you off earlier. Now, I didn't want to mess with it because, they can just take your account and that's it.
They cut me off in an hour and a half on Facebook, and then I think I was banned for like a month. I couldn't go live. I played going live again 2 days later, and I couldn't get on. And I told everybody I was getting on. I went to do it, and I couldn't get on. People are calling me, texting me, "Where are you? What happened?"
That's one of the reasons why I don't mess with it or never, upload music. I just be editing videos and put a mainstream piece of music in the background, and Facebook will just kill it right then and there. And then you got to do some process of, what are you using this for and everything, and maybe 2 or 3 days later it'll pop up or not.
When I was DJing, it said that the Sony Music Group claims this video. And I was like, okay, I didn't think nothing of it. Then I couldn't get back on, so I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna mess with this thing.
Now they do have streaming that you can pay for, DJ freely, but you said you like that more interaction.
Yes.
Some people will just make a mix. So, that brings up another question. Have you been on the radio?
No.
Real radio or internet radio?
No.
Okay.
I haven't tried any of that.
I'm imagining it would be the same type of thing. You're DJing to a crowd you don't even know exist.
Right. Well, you know what? I guess it's more motivational when you're getting paid for it or something like that. Better alert them guys. That's my dad. So, I've done even doing a mixtape. No one's there, but I usually have people over while I'm doing it. That kind of, as long as I'm getting some kind of feedback,
Right.
I know someone's expecting this tape, they'll enjoy the music.
Right. They were saying Stanton might be the next one after Techniques. And somebody put, copyright infringement. So I just don't mess with it. I see people get on all the time and then get on not Facebook, but Instagram, and the same thing happens. Then I seen something on Instagram a couple of weeks ago about, they allow you to play 90 seconds of the song.
You can't play the entire song
before they start coming after you.
Okay.
So if you can get a 90 second and below of each song, do you have 90 more seconds?
Do you have a friend standing there with a top
next song, or you're done? As soon as you throw the next song on, you're done.
I said I was DJing for about a good 45 minutes for that disclaimer came up.
Yeah. So you must have a song.
Too much of that one song.
Yeah.
Because being on here, I wasn't gonna be in too long. I was just throwing songs on. I might have played up to the first chorus and throw something else on. So maybe I played too much of that one song. And I wonder how. Was Sony listening to me?
I think that song was marked. Whatever, and you don't even know which one it was.
Right.
because they have a delay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. DJ, Mr. Anderson, we're going to wrap this up.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for being the first guest.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
All right. Can you give me a drop right quick?
I got nothing plugged up.
Next time, right?
Next time, yeah.
And I'll play it right.
I disconnected the other laptop. Oh, as far as new DJs, do not DJ unless you have a love for what you're doing. You know, if you don't love it, you're not always going to get paid a lot of money, but the experience and, you know, if you don't love it, don't do it.
Yeah.
That's the main advice, you know, and I love doing this.
I'm not there anymore. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling my boy the other day, I like it. I'm not in love with it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love the response to the crowd. You know? When things are right, it's so right.
Right. People don't understand how much you put into DJing even before you get to a gig.
Yes.
All the hours, all the
from tired after the party. Mm-hmm. I'm never exhausted.
Right.
Because you have to, you know, you're thinking 2-3 songs ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the other thing good about the laptop, because you know you can pick your songs. You know.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to
put them in crates and stuff like that. Yeah.
You know, you can go out and say, okay, I'll play that one. That's a good go with that song. You know, or the crowd will like this one. This, you know, it's from that same era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But thanks for having me.
You are so welcome, and thank you for being on. Thank you for being the first.
The guinea pig.
You're the first. There's 29 more left. I know I'm gonna be mentally tired when we finish this whole month.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for this first edition of DJ Interview. Tomorrow we'll come up with another DJ you may or may not know. So
you don't know me.
Stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.
Peace, New Rochelle, 1159 Eden Wall.
All right. So what did you think? Let me end this officially. DJ Interview is done. What did you think? Did you see that hair? My hair was, I think at the time my hair was just growing. Let me know what you think in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this very first episode. And let me know if you think the more recent episodes are much better quality than the older ones, especially the first one. I was telling you at the beginning, me and Gary was nervous, like really nervous. I had a beer next to me. I don't even remember if I was drinking it or not, but I had a beer next to me just as a safety net. So again, thank you guys. We are here every Tuesday, 8-ish p.m. Eastern Time. That's Tuesdays, 8-ish Eastern Time. For those who don't know what 8-ish is, it's anytime between 8 and 8:30 American Time. Eastern Time is American Time. I am Harry the Big Dog. This is the DJ Interview, and we are out of here until next week.